Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to talk about a very personal issue that I know many of you are struggling with, insomnia. If you've ever woken up at 2 or 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, unable to fall back asleep, then this video is for you. I'll be sharing my journey of overcoming insomnia because for over 10 years, it completely destroyed my life. There were nights when I didn't sleep for even a minute and it felt like torture. But I finally found ways to sleep better at night, and I really want to help you do the same. We'll talk about why you wake up in the middle of the night, how cortisol stress disrupts your sleep, and simple solutions like fixing magnesium deficiency, adjusting your diet, and more. If you're ready to say goodbye to sleepless nights, stay with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any videos. Leave a comment below if you're struggling with insomnia. I'd love to hear your story. Let's get started. Let me take you back to the terrifying nights I endured. For over 10 years, I was trapped in a vicious cycle of insomnia. I would wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., my heart racing, and no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't fall back asleep. There were nights when I didn't sleep for even a single minute. I would just lie there, feeling like I was trapped inside my own body. It was pure torture. I tried everything from counting sheep to meditation, but nothing worked. Insomnia wasn't just a minor inconvenience, it wrecked my life. I was constantly exhausted, unable to focus, and felt like a zombie during the day. The worst part, I was wide awake at 2 a.m., but by 8 a.m., when I actually needed to start my day, I was completely drained. It felt like my body was working against me. After years of research and experimentation, I finally understood why this was happening. It all comes down to something called the circadian rhythm and cortisol stress. Let's break it down together so you can understand what might be happening to your sleep. Here's the science behind why 2 a.m. is such a struggle for insomniacs like us. Your body follows a natural clock called the circadian rhythm, which controls when you feel awake or sleepy. A key part of this rhythm involves cortisol, the stress hormone. Normally, cortisol should be at its lowest around 2 a.m. to help you stay asleep and at its highest around 8 a.m. to give you energy for the day. But for me, and maybe for you, this cycle was completely flipped. I was wide awake at 2 a.m., but by 8 a.m., I could barely keep my eyes open. This reversal happens due to an imbalance in the body. Cortisol isn't just a stress hormone, it plays a major role in regulating energy levels and sleep cycles. When cortisol is too high at night, it wakes you up, and when it's too low in the morning, you feel exhausted. I even tried prescription sleep medications to fix my sleep, but here's the shocking part. They actually made everything worse. These medications spiked my cortisol levels, making my insomnia unbearable. So I had to find a natural way to lower cortisol and reset my sleep cycle. Let's talk about the first game changer I discovered, magnesium. One of the biggest reasons I kept waking up at 2 a.m. was a magnesium deficiency. Magnesium is a mineral that helps lower cortisol, relax muscles, and calm the nervous system. When you're low on magnesium, cortisol spikes, and that can wake you up in the middle of the night. I didn't realize I was magnesium deficient until I started noticing some classic signs. You might be experiencing them too. Have you ever had tight muscles in your upper or lower back? Or maybe when you stretch your legs, your feet cramp up. What about twitching under your eye or in your arms? These are all clear signs of magnesium deficiency. Magnesium helps regulate calcium in the body, and without enough magnesium, excess calcium can cause muscle cramps and tension. Here's an interesting fact. Around 6 a.m., your body has the lowest levels of magnesium in its tissues. That's why health issues like heart attacks, strokes, and restless leg syndrome tend to happen more often in the early morning hours. So, how do you fix this? I started taking a specific type of magnesium called magnesium glycinate. It's amazing because it not only lowers cortisol, but also relaxes your muscles, making it easier to fall asleep. I take it at night before bed, and it has completely transformed my sleep. If you're struggling to sleep better at night, I highly recommend trying magnesium glycinate. But magnesium isn't the only thing that can throw off cortisol. Let's talk about another sneaky culprit, blood sugar. Another major reason you might be waking up at 2 a.m. is blood sugar instability during sleep. Let me explain how this works. If your diet is high in carbohydrates, like bread, pasta, or sugary snacks, your blood sugar spikes when you eat. Then, as you sleep, your blood sugar starts to drop. If it drops too low in the middle of the night, your body panics and releases cortisol to bring it back up. The result? That cortisol spike wakes you up. And this was a huge issue for me because I used to eat a lot of refined carbs and sugar. I would have a big bowl of noodles for dinner or snack on cookies before bed, thinking it wouldn't affect my sleep. But those habits created a cycle of blood sugar crashes and cortisol surges. Here's what I learned. If you keep waking up at 2 a.m., take a look at what you ate the day before. Did you eat a lot of refined carbs? Did you go to a restaurant where they might have added MSG, which also disrupts blood sugar? What about alcohol? It can make you feel sleepy at first, but actually wrecks sleep quality and causes 2 to 3 a.m. wake ups. My advice: stop eating after 6:30 p.m. Late night eating, especially high protein meals, can stimulate the body and keep you awake. I found that if I eat my last meal in the late afternoon and avoid snacking afterward, my sleep improves dramatically. It's a small change, but it makes a huge difference. Now, let's move on to another surprising factor that can spike cortisol: salt cravings. Do you ever crave salty snacks like potato chips late at night? I used to think this was just a random habit, but it turns out there's a real reason behind it. When you're low on sodium, your cortisol levels rise. Sodium actually helps lower cortisol. So when your body lacks it, you start craving salty foods as a way to rebalance. I noticed this pattern in myself. I would grab a bag of chips at night thinking it was just a guilty pleasure. But in reality, my body was signaling a sodium deficiency. Here's what I started doing instead. I added more sea salt to my meals throughout the day. Not table salt, natural sea salt, which is rich in minerals. I kept increasing my intake until I no longer craved salty snacks at night. This small adjustment helped lower my cortisol and made a huge difference in my sleep. If you're struggling with insomnia, give this a try and see if it works for you. Let's talk about lifestyle habits that can spike cortisol and ruin your sleep. Hash 1: watching thrillers or action movies before bed. I used to love watching horror movies at night, but I realized they were making me anxious. My heart would race, and after that, I just couldn't fall asleep. Now, I only watch calm, boring movies or even documentaries to relax before bed. It's a small change, but it makes a big difference. Number 2: blue light from screens. Blue light disrupts melatonin, the hormone that helps you relax and sleep. If you're scrolling through your phone before bed, that blue light is tricking your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Now, I avoid screens at least an hour before bed. Instead, I focus on getting more sunlight during the day. Did you know that over 50% of sunlight and light from fire or candles contains infrared light? Infrared light boosts melatonin production at a cellular level, which helps you sleep better at night. So, get outside during the day and maybe even light a candle in the evening. It actually works. Another tip that helped me: exercise. If you have too much leftover energy at night, it's harder to fall asleep. I noticed that taking long walks or working out during the day really helped me feel physically tired by bedtime. It's like burning off excess energy so your body can fully relax. If you don't exercise, that extra energy just sits there, keeping you awake. Vitamin B1 deficiency, thiamine. Another factor is a lack of vitamin B1. If you're low on B1, your body struggles to manage energy, which can make you feel restless at night. I also used to experience restless leg syndrome, which is often a sign of B1 or magnesium deficiency, usually caused by eating too many carbs. When I started taking natural B1 and magnesium before bed, my restless legs disappeared. Such an easy fix. Your liver's role in sleep. Your liver detoxes between 1 to 3 a.m. So if it's overloaded from things like alcohol or medication, it can disrupt your sleep. I started taking milk thistle before bed to support my liver, and it made a huge difference. If you suspect your liver might be struggling, try this and see if it helps. High heart rate can keep you awake. One night, I was lying in bed feeling my heart pounding while trying to sleep. I checked my heart rate, it was too high. There are two main reasons this can happen. One, low potassium, often caused by eating too many carbs. Two, an overly acidic body pH. I used to drink kombucha or apple cider vinegar ACV right before bed, thinking it was good for digestion, but I made a big mistake. I drank it too concentrated, making my body too acidic. Here's what I do now. I still use ACV, but I dilute it properly with water. It's great for stabilizing nighttime blood sugar and helps your body absorb minerals better. If you suspect blood sugar crashes are waking you up, try 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar mixed in a glass of water before bed. It's a simple trick, but it can make a huge difference. If you've tried everything and still wake up at 2 a.m., don't panic. Here's what I do. I grab a boring book and start reading. Nothing too exciting, just something to make my eyes feel heavy. Usually, within 20 to 30 minutes, I'm asleep again. The next day, I make sure to go for a long walk. Not to raise my heart rate too much, but to get plenty of oxygen and release any leftover cortisol and adrenaline from the night before. This resets my body for the next night and makes it much easier to sleep through. And that's my journey to beating insomnia. From resetting my circadian rhythm and reducing cortisol stress to fixing magnesium deficiency, stabilizing blood sugar, and making simple lifestyle changes, these tips completely transformed my sleep. I went from not sleeping at all to finally getting restful nights, and I know you can too. Which tip will you try first? Maybe magnesium glycinate or cutting out late night snacks? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your results. Watch the full video for more details, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Thanks for joining me on this journey to better sleep. See you in the next one. Hey everyone, have you ever woken up at 2 to 3 a.m. unable to fall back asleep? I struggled with insomnia for 10 years. Some nights I didn't sleep at all, and it felt like torture. But I finally discovered how to fix my sleep, and I want to share it with you. One major cause: cortisol stress and a disrupted circadian rhythm. High cortisol at 2 a.m. kept me awake. I found that magnesium deficiency was a culprit, signs like muscle cramps and eye twitches. Taking magnesium glycinate before bed helped lower cortisol and relax my muscles. Another key factor: blood sugar crashes at night. Eating too many carbs caused my blood sugar to drop, triggering a cortisol spike. I stopped snacking after 6:30 p.m., avoided alcohol and MSG, and added sea salt to my meals to stop nighttime cravings and lower cortisol. Avoiding blue light, exercising during the day, and supporting my liver with milk thistle also made a huge difference. Which tip will you try first? Comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch for more sleep tips.